Ever wondered why a paper cut can feel like a deep wound, or why you seem to feel aches and pains more intensely than others? What if I told you the answer might not be in your body, but in your past? You might be living in a state of constant low-grade physical discomfort. Maybe you're the person who always has a headache, a sore back, or mysterious stomach issues that doctors can't seem to diagnose. You might have been told it's all in your head, or that you're just too sensitive. This can be incredibly frustrating and isolating. You see others bounce back from minor injuries or push through physical exertion with ease, while for you, even a small physical stressor can feel overwhelming. You might find yourself avoiding activities you once loved, not because you're lazy, but because the physical toll just feels too high. This isn't just about being tough or weak. It's a genuine physiological experience. Your body seems to be screaming at you, but the volume is turned up way too high and you and find the dial to turn it down. This heightened sensitivity, this constant battle with your own physical sensations, isn't a personal failing. It's often the echo of a past you didn't choose, a ghost from your childhood that has taken up residence in your nervous system. To understand why this happens, we need to journey deep into the architecture of your brain and nervous system. The key lies in a concept called neuroplasticity, the brain's incredible ability to change and adapt based on experience. During childhood and adolescence, our brains are like wet clay, incredibly malleable and sensitive to the environment. This is a crucial period for development, where our neural pathways are being laid down and reinforced. When a child experiences a safe, nurturing, and predictable environment, their brain develops a well-regulated stress response system. The fight-or-flight response, governed by the amygdala and the release of stress hormones, like cortisol, activates when there's a real threat and then powers down when the danger is past. However, when a child is exposed to early life adversity, which can range from overt abuse and neglect to more subtle forms of chronic stress like household dysfunction, emotional unavailability of a caregiver, or persistent instability, this system gets fundamentally rewired. Instead of a finely tuned alarm system that rings only in case of a real fire, the brain of a child experiencing trauma develops an alarm system that is constantly on high alert or even broken. The amygdala, the brain's fear and threat detection center, can become enlarged and hyper-reactive. The prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for executive functions like emotional regulation, rational thinking, and dampening the fear response, may show reduced activity or even have weaker connections to the amygdala. This creates a brain that is structurally and functionally primed for threat. It constantly scans the environment and your internal bodily sensations for potential danger. This state of hypervigilance doesn't just switch off when you become an adult. It becomes your brain's default operating mode. The neural pathways forged in the fire of early distress become the superhighways of your adult brain, while pathways for calm and safety remain like unpaved country roads. This rewiring has profound implications for how you perceive pain. Pain itself is not just a simple signal from a body part to the brain. It is a complex experience constructed by the brain, heavily influenced by context, emotion, and past experiences. The parts of the brain that process emotional pain, like the anterior cingulate cortex and the insula, significantly overlap with the areas that process physical pain. For a brain rewired by trauma, this overlap is critical. When your brain has been trained for years to associate distress with threat and to be on high alert for danger, it begins to interpret even neutral or minor physical sensations through this same lens of threat. A normal muscle ache isn't just a muscle ache. It's a potential sign that something is terribly wrong, triggering the same neural alarm bells that a past traumatic event did. This process is called central sensitization. Your central nervous system becomes wound up and hypersensitive, amplifying pain signals like a stereo with the volume cranked to maximum. This is why chronic pain conditions like fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, chronic headaches, and temporomandibular joint disorder TMJ have such a high correlation with a history of childhood trauma. Your nervous system is essentially overreacting, turning the volume of somatic or bodily signals way up. Furthermore, this doesn't just mean pain is amplified. Sometimes, the opposite can happen in a way that is just as dangerous. In order to survive overwhelming or inescapable distress in childhood, the brain can develop a powerful coping mechanism called dissociation. This is the mind's ability to mentally and emotionally disconnect from what is happening. This can manifest physically as a dulling or numbing of sensation. As an adult, this might mean you have a very high pain tolerance for certain things, or you don't notice you're injured until long after the fact. You might ignore critical signals from your body telling you that you're hungry, tired, or sick. While this might seem like a superpower, it's actually a sign of a profound disconnection from your own body. This numbing prevents you from responding to your body's needs, leading to burnout, illness, or injury. So, the traumatized brain exists on a confusing spectrum. Either it's screaming in amplified pain, or it's eerily silent, both of which are maladaptive responses learned in the crucible of early adversity. So, how do you begin to recalibrate this exquisitely sensitive system? The journey back to your body is not about toughening up or ignoring the pain. It's about safety, regulation, and reconnection. The first step is to cultivate a sense of safety in your own body, teaching your nervous system that it is no longer in that past danger. This is where somatic or body-based therapies can be incredibly powerful. Practices like somatic experiencing sensory motor, psychotherapy, or trauma-sensitive yoga are specifically designed to help you gently tune into your body's sensations without becoming overwhelmed. They guide you to notice the physical feelings, the tightness in your chest, the clenching in your jaw, the butterflies in your stomach, and to slowly, carefully allow them to be there and then to complete their physiological cycle to release. This isn't about reliving trauma. It's about processing the stored physical energy of it. Mindfulness and meditation are also invaluable tools, but they must be approached with care. For someone with a history of trauma, sitting in silence and focusing inward can sometimes feel threatening at first. It's crucial to start with guided, trauma-informed mindfulness exercises that emphasize choice and gentleness. A simple practice could be to just notice your feet on the floor for 30 seconds. Feel the solid ground beneath you. This is a grounding technique, and it sends a powerful signal to your brain. I am here. I am in the present moment. I am safe right now. Another key component is co-regulation, which involves finding safety in the presence of a calm and attuned nervous system, often that of a therapist, a trusted friend, or even a pet. This helps your own nervous system learn, by example, how to shift out of hypervigilance and into a state of social engagement and calm. Gentle, rhythmic movements, like rocking, swaying, walking, or Tai Chi, can also be profoundly regulating for the nervous system, helping to soothe the overactive brainstem and amygdala. The goal of all these practices is not to eliminate sensation, but to change your relationship with it, to build your capacity to be with your physical experience, with curiosity and compassion, rather than fear. The most important takeaway is this: your heightened or dulled perception of pain is not a character flaw or a sign that you are broken. It is a biological adaptation, a testament to what your younger self had to endure to survive. Your brain and nervous system did exactly what they needed to do to protect you in an environment that felt unsafe. The pain you feel is real, validated by decades of neuroscientific research. Understanding this is the first step toward self-compassion, which is the antidote to the shame that so often accompanies chronic pain and trauma. Your body has been carrying the score of your past, and now, as an adult, you have the opportunity to learn its language and help it find its way back to a feeling of safety and ease in the present. If this story resonates with you, if you've been living with unexplained pain or a sense of disconnection from your body, I encourage you to explore these concepts further. Share this video with someone who might need to hear this message. And for more insights on how our past shapes our present, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You are not alone in this experience, and healing is possible.